My name is Lisa, and I used to work in an apartment complex as part of the housekeeping and maintenance staff. The job was far from glamorous, long hours, low wages, and often little appreciation, but I took pride in doing it with integrity. Every corner I cleaned and every task I completed, I did sincerely and wholeheartedly. One humid afternoon, my supervisor approached me and said, "Lisa, sir wants to see you in his office." I wiped the sweat from my forehead, straightened my uniform, and stepped into the cool, air-conditioned office of Mr. Salim, the apartment manager. He was in his mid-40s, well-dressed and confident, but there was something unsettling in the way he looked at people, especially women. That day, I felt it more strongly than ever. "Lisa," he said without looking up from his papers, "how many hours do you work each day?" "8, sir," I replied softly. He finally glanced up, smiling in a way that made my skin crawl. "From now on you'll be doing 10 knee jobs," he said, "and spend 2 hours relaxing me." At first I didn't understand. The term sounded strange, unclear, but the way he said it and the expression in his eyes made his meaning unmistakable. It wasn't a request, it was a demand, a deeply inappropriate and degrading one. I felt a chill run through me. "Sir, I already work hard," I said, my voice trembling. "What you're asking, I'm not comfortable with it." His smile vanished. "You'll do what you're told," he said flatly. "Or you can leave. There are plenty of girls waiting to take your place." I stood there, frozen. Rent was due. My younger brother needed school fees. My mother was sick. I had no support system, no backup plan. I didn't agree, but I also didn't speak. I just nodded slowly, out of fear, not acceptance. I walked out of his office with a heavy heart, my mind racing. I kept telling myself he'd forget about it, that maybe it was just an ugly moment that would pass. But predators don't forget. They only push further. The next morning, I returned to work, trying to act normal. I was dusting shelves in his office when he came up behind me and placed his hand on my back. I flinched. "Your hands are so soft," he murmured. "Why waste them cleaning dust?" I stepped away quickly, my pulse racing. He chuckled and walked over to the couch, patting the cushion beside him. "Come sit, Lisa. I want to talk." I refused to sit. Leaning back, he crossed his legs and studied me. "Are you married?" he asked casually. "No," I replied, keeping my eyes on the floor. "Perfect," he said with a smirk. "No complications. You should become my personal employee. No more cleaning. Just you and me every day." I looked up at him, a surge of anger and disgust rising in my chest. "Sir, I didn't come here for this." He stood up slowly, his face hardening. "Don't pretend to be innocent," he said coldly. "You walk around here like you're above the rest. You're not. Without this job, you're nothing. Remember that." Something inside me snapped. My hands were shaking, but my voice was steady. "That's enough." He reached for my wrist, but I reacted before he could touch me again. I slapped him, hard. For a moment, there was nothing but silence. His face turned red with fury. "You'll regret this," he hissed. "No one will believe you. I'll make sure you never work again." But I didn't care anymore. I didn't run out just from his office. I ran out of that prison of fear and silence I had been stuck in. That night, I walked into a local women's rights organization. My voice cracked as I shared my story, but they didn't doubt me. They listened, they stood by me. With their help, I filed a formal complaint. An investigation began. Slowly, other women came forward. Some who had left quietly, others who had suffered in silence. The road wasn't easy. I was ridiculed, threatened, even blamed. but I held my head high because I knew I was standing on the side of truth. Today, I work at a company where respect and fairness are part of the culture. I earn an honest wage in a safe environment. Most importantly, I'm treated like a human being. Now, I speak at community programs and awareness seminars about workplace harassment and abuse of power. I share my story not out of shame, but out of strength, so that others know they're not alone. If you are someone who feels trapped, please listen to me. You are not powerless. Your voice matters. There is help. There is hope. And sometimes the first step toward freedom is simply saying, enough is enough.